Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to another episode of the Real Spill Podcast. Whew, it's been a minute, but it feels good being back in the studio. It is August 1st. It's a new month. Wake up, wake up. It's the first of the month. Get up, get up. Got some checks and get up.
I need to talk to my boss, man. My check is late.
He is his boss. What is he talking about? Oh, my goodness.
Boss, what's up?
As he looks around to no one there. All right. It feels good to be back in the studio. Sorry for the hiatus, but we are back. Things are in motion. We got plans. We got ideas. And tonight, what we're going to talk about is going to get into some loyalty. All right? You got Kyrie Irving. Don't know what's going on with him and LeBron. I don't know. It's that simple, right? And then we're also going to discuss professionalism. The word professionalism can mean many things, all right? But we want to talk about it on the court and off the court, on the football field, off the football field, in sports in general. And we have an example of someone that hasn't been following, per se, the role of a professional athlete, and that's Le'Veon Bell. We're going to get into that. And then also we have some big news tonight for some young local, I don't want to say kids, but young local athletes out there that are looking to get out and join Wattsbball in a phase of things or two, all right? So stay tuned for that. At the end of the show, we're going to announce some big news that we have. But other than that, Donald, man, how you been?
Oh, man, I've been good. You know me, just on this grind and, doing what I do, working with kids, training them up.
No. Not training, developing. Come on now.
Developing them. Developing them, training them, all of that. And then really just creating opportunities for people. We had a group in town from Taiwan. That was a really exciting, I retired from coaching AAU basketball. I don't really do it. There are a lot of things, a lot of aspects of that I don't like. AAU was a situation that I obviously benefited from being a college athlete, and I enjoyed it. But it's gotten to be a much bigger business. There are a lot of people playing it that probably should be in the gym somewhere working on their game instead of playing every tournament. There are a lot of kids that, and we'll get into this later in the show, but that'll play with the team one weekend and then switch to another team the next weekend and just switching and flip-flopping all over the place. Like I said, we're gonna get into that a little later because it's becoming more and more of a cultural norm. And we want to talk about if it's a problem or if it's something that's a good thing. At the end of the day, if it's helping and hurting our society or helping and hurting the NBA, college basketball is rampant throughout. So anyway, had the group from Taiwan in. It was an excellent opportunity. It was excellent working with the kids. It's funny when you're coaching kids that don't even speak your language. Right, and they're looking at you, and you're looking back at them like, did you understand anything? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? I felt like Chris Tucker, like every time out. Like, don't ever touch a black man radio. Nah, but then they would go out, and here's the trippy part, is they couldn't understand what I was saying, but they're better listeners than the kids that I work with here. Every time they stepped on the court, they went and tried to execute the things that we talked about in a timeout. They went and tried to execute the things that we talked about at halftime. And I coach kids from here, and I say something to them, and they walk out on the court, and I'm like, what was that? There's no resemblance.
Did I call that?
Yeah, so we got some things that we need to work on here culturally as it relates to our sports. And just, the development. And like I said, it was a great opportunity, great experience working with the young people, but it was also an eye-opener. Like I said, can you understand the words? And then they would go out and do it.
That's awesome. But before we get going, we do got to shout out the sponsor, okay? This is brought to you by Wattsbball. That is wattsbasketball.com. No WWWs. We're learning on that. We're working really hard. So far, I think I'm 4 for 4 on that. Haven't said that since they grilled me on Andrea's B-Day. So we've been good. All right, it's wattsbasketball.com. Game changes for life. You get intense athletic development, world-class basketball training, you name it. Donald has guys, including himself, that are there to help you and take you to the next level. Whether you're just starting, you're a veteran, or if you consider yourself a veteran, there are guys that can help you, including Donald, to take you to the next level. All right, that's wattsbasketball.com. Now, D, the question is, what you want to talk about first? You want to talk about loyalty or professionalism? How do you want to chop it up?
Oh, man, let's get into this professionalism.
Professionalism,
Yeah.
okay. When you hear the word professionalism, what's the first thing that comes to mind? It doesn't have to be on sport. It could be anything. What do you think when you hear professionalism?
Representing yourself and your organization, whatever that you work for, to the highest standard, right? Like maximizing the opportunities that come to you, and also, respecting the brand at which you work for, and not just respecting it, but creating a situation where things are better for the people around you and for the people who come after you. For me, that's what professionalism. That's what comes to mind when I think about professionalism. Maximizing your own opportunities and doing it in a way that really fits the team or the organization and helps that brand move along.
Got it. So I look at it same way, but I look at it as who you represent for your family. Like, what's the kid name?
Mm-hmm.
When they think of the kid name, they probably see me. My parents are doing their own thing, but I am the young guy. I'm the young man of the kid family. So when they see me, I represent them. So anything I do, work late to work, not doing something I need to be, that's representing myself and them. So they get a bad rap. That's why it's always important for me to put the best Christopher out there, because I don't want people saying, oh, that kid's lazy. Who are his parents? I need to talk to them. I don't want that image. I want that, oh, that's Chris' kid. I know what I'm going to get from him, whether it's this or this. And that's what I look at in professionalism. Now, you talked a little bit about sport. How important is professionalism in sport? Granted, you played in college basketball. You had to be on time to meetings, certain things you could or couldn't do. Maybe you had a curfew. Did you obey that? Maybe you don't have to get into that here. But but professionalism, how does that play a role in sports, in college basketball, professional, you name it?
Well, I mean, it's extremely important, but there are those moments, there are those times, there are those individuals that can make it and get along without being professional, because they are such outstanding talents as it relates to their field of play, as it relates to basketball, as it relates to football. But when you talk about maximizing your opportunity, when you talk about maximizing the opportunities on the court, when you're talking about being a great teammate, when you're talking about, trying to win championships, when you're talking about having, getting the most out of a career, whether that's financially, whether that's time in the game, whether that's being able to move on from the playing field onto the, into the corporate area, into the front offices of teams and stuff like that. That's when professionalism becomes extremely important. Now, you got to realize that there are those athletes that their goal and their dream is to make it to the NBA, to make it to the NFL, or to make it to college, and they don't really see much beyond that. And if they get a couple $1 million in their bank account and a contract, that's all they want or think that they want for life. So they're going to do, whatever, however, whenever they want to, once they get what they want, once they achieve their goals out of the thing. And I mean, for me, that's a situation that's really unfortunate. I mean, it's to each his own, but it's such a wonderful platform to have a great impact beyond yourself, culturally, to your family and all that stuff. And to maximize that, professionalism is probably the key, right, to maximization of a career.
Got it. So I have an example of someone who I think is professional, and I'm going to go local. No, it's not D. I could easily say D, because he helped me grow into the person I am on and off the court today. So, but I'm not going to be biased and plug Donald. Donald can get all the love elsewhere because he gets enough, right?
I don't get enough of it.
I don't know. Was that a Jay-Z line there?
It might have been.
But I'm going to go with...
All I see is vampires and bloodsuckers. All I see is these cats I made millionaires milling about, spilling their feelings in the air. Oh, my bad.
I have no problem with it.
I got off track.
There's no problem with that. It's the real spill, okay? But I look at a guy like Jason Terry as a huge example of professionalism. What does he do? Plays professional basketball. How does he do it? He might not be the greatest ever, but he comes in and night out and does his job. And he competes. And he's He's a cool guy. I mean, you can walk up to Jason Terry and he'll be like, "Hey, how you doing?" He'll talk to you. He's a cool guy. Go ahead, Don.
No, I mean, I mean, he's in the league 17 years now.
He's 39 years old. He plans on playing 20 years, so he's planning on coming back next year.
Right. He's in the league well past his prime.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still in the league because the guy he's been. You can't just make a decision at some point when you're on the decline to change your colors. The guy who's been in the locker room, the teammate he's been. He's won on every single level, and he keeps a job not because he can shoot better than anybody in the league at this phase, not because he can dribble better than anybody in the league at this phase, but because you can put him around young guys and he's going to set the tone and example. And when you call upon him in the game, he's going to be ready to go. He's not going to be a problem. He's going to be no complaints. Nothing like that.
That's my point.
Yeah, and I mean another guy, my homeboy who Jay's one of my guys too.
So you about to take mine again? I had two, and you about to take them?
Okay, go ahead.
Nah, man, you go ahead. You got it.
Jamal Crawford.
That was gonna be my second one. Another local guy, but I'll let Donald take it away. Go ahead.
No, I mean Jamal is doing a great job on the court. Obviously, he'll still break ankles, right? You still put the jumper. You still put the jumper in your face. He loves playing the game. He loves helping and working with people. And when guys like this, I actually got a phone call just yesterday, and we were talking about an AAU game, and one of the coaches here, Buck, was talking about how, they played against Jason Terry's team in Dallas, and Jason was coaching. So Jason's in his offseason coaching girls basketball, helping kids get scholarships to school. He's that's professional. And when a guy like that has a contract and he's in the league, it benefits so many people around him in a substantial way that whether it's his teammates, whether it's people in his community, the community that he's adopted, that is to everybody's benefit for him to continue to hold that job and position as long as he can, because he's having such a positive impact on people. And you see the same thing here with Jamal Crawford, with the things he's doing in this community for kids. Everybody knows the league, and everybody get over to the Crossover League. Come see your boy play. Go see Jamal play. We need to pack those stands over there. He's made it free for everybody this year to be there. But the things that he's done in this community, go well beyond the league. The things that he's done for his family and the things that he continues to do. And like I said, whether it's a organization, teammates, everybody benefits from having a guy like that. Benefits substantially and sustainably from having people like that, around. And that's those two guys. Those two guys in this city are the epitome of professionalism.
Bingo, hit it right on the head. So we brought that up to show love to who professionalism is, what it can be, what it should be. Now we're going to take a little step back and discuss a player that I don't know if he's figured that out yet. We're talking about Le'Veon Bell. Great running back. We know that. But the past few seasons, he's let his teammates down. He's let himself down. And then he comes out and makes a comment on Twitter, I guess I just got to get better. What? My man, not your first year, what was it, 2015? Smoking weed with LeGarrette Blount, get caught. Okay, we're going to suspend you for 4 games. Okay, cool. Suspend him for 4 games. And I think they ended up doing 3. NFL took a game away. It's like, we'll just do 3 games. That'll be good enough. The following season, last year, 2016, substance abuse. I don't know what drugs he was taking, but there's some drugs you can't take in the NFL for whatever reason that they say so, and you're not supposed to do it. What does he do? He takes those drugs or whatever the case is. 4-game suspension, slap on the wrist. Okay, we'll do 3 games. We fast forward to now. You want to get paid. You want the money now. It's time, to make an extension so you can stay with the Pittsburgh Steelers, arguably the best offense in the NFL. They got monsters: Antonio Brown, Ben Roethlisberger. Throw Le'Veon Bell in there. Martavis Bryant comes back this year.
I don't know who's arguing that, but I'll roll with you. I don't know who's arguing that. I wouldn't argue that, but go ahead.
People are.
People. Okay. So you represent people right now. So here's one of my pet peeves. But when somebody comes to you and they're like, yeah, people say. Yeah. Like, oh, people say, and I'm not a celebrity, but, I've had some fame here and there, whatever. And when people come up to you and you're like, well, people said that you did it. Like, well, who is people? Am I talking to you or am I talking to people?
The analyst,
all right,
besides Donald and myself, have said, they
who is
might be
people? I want to talk to people.
they might be the top offense in the league. But my point is basically now he wants to get paid more, but also he fails to realize in the past 2 seasons he's missed 6 to 7 games. And those 6 to 7 games make a difference come playoff time, where your seeding is, how your team is meshing together. All those components of you doing what you're not supposed to do, a.k.a. professionalism, it comes back to bite you in the ass. And it's showing. So now coming into this season, he says he has to get better. And I don't think he realizes the word professionalism. He hasn't seen that yet and realized, dang, I got to stop doing these stupid things so I can help my team later on in the season.
Well, first of all, I think the NFL has a problem. And that problem, and as it relates to marijuana, I think that there are a lot worse things that athletes are doing and taking that are prescribed or legal means of painkillers and stuff that are much more harmful to people. And I'm not a big proponent of marijuana, but they're much more harmful to people long term, and they're legal in the league, right? And I mean, it's scientific, it's been proven, and I think there are a lot more guys doing, using marijuana for for pain purposes and all kind of stuff in the NFL than we realize. And I think there are probably some guys that are using it as an alternative to using things that are a lot stronger and a lot more harmful, but are legal in the NFL's eyes because they're prescribed by doctors and such. So I'm gonna just say that. Now, as we get into the professionalism, if those are the rules of your organization and you're not abiding by those rules and it's costing you opportunity, if it's costing you time on the field, it's costing your teammates wins, trips to the playoffs, possibly Super Bowl opportunities, then it's an extreme showing of a lack of professionalism. And at the end of the day, if you do that, and Le'Veon Bell has to realize that, and if he doesn't, he realizes it now, that it's going to cost you where it hurts the most, in your paycheck. So that's what he's dealing with now, and what he tweets and what he doesn't tweet. I'm not a big proponent of trying to read into people's Twitters, too much.
I just find it funny because that just goes to show me he's not.
He said he got to get better.
Stay off. Be there for your team.
So he got to get better. That's what he said. He realizes it now. Maybe he didn't realize it during the 4-game suspension. Maybe he didn't realize it during the 3-game suspension. But he's realizing it during the contract negotiations.
Yes, and he's offered, I think they said, 1 year, $12 million. And he's like, what? I'm worth more than that. Come on, man.
You would be if we knew you could stay on the field.
Exactly.
Right.
And you brought up the weed. So, by the way, the NFL has considered to look at weed research. Nothing about them saying we're going to legalize it, but the National Football League has offered to work with the National Football Players Association to study pain management, potentially marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that could flip things a lot because marijuana is that drug that has you feeling a little too cool. I'm not saying that the NFL is just going to be a league of too cools, but after reading or hearing that, D, what are you thinking? Should the league consider it, or you're just like, why does it matter? I mean,
no, I mean, I think when you look at what they are doing, like the whatever, the pain pills and all those things, and I mean, you just walk around the streets of Seattle and you can see what the effect and the impact of pain medication is. And, a lot of people, I've read research that a lot of people are getting hooked on that stuff at the dentist's office. A lot of kids are getting hooked on essentially heroin, what transitions to heroin at the dentist's office.
Have you had laughing gas?
Have I had laughing gas?
Yes.
Like that you put on you? Yeah, I've been to the dentist.
So low key, after I got that, this is a little off, going a little tangent. My first time getting that, I asked, "Can I get that again?" Because it was just so cool. I never got.
Oh yeah, you better not do no drinking and no drugging.
So listen, hear me out.
You asked for some more laughing gas.
Check this out.
You got a problem, brother.
No. See, it was the first time I ever was laughing and I couldn't control it.
Right.
Usually, Donald, you can laugh and you can control it.
Right.
But D, they said, "Oh, it's working," and I was like, "What's going on?" I was laughing, and then I kept thinking, if I could get laughing.
I didn't know it actually made you laugh.
Oh, D.
It put you to sleep, right?
It did. After I laughed for about 15, 20 seconds,
Okay.
I passed out. But I'm not trying to say, hey, go out there and get laughing gas.
Hey, somebody get this man some laughing gas.
No, if you know someone that has laughing gas that sells it, holla at your boy. I want to try it again because I really thought it was really cool that laughing gas really made you laugh. Like I thought it was a myth, but that's just me going off on a tangent. Back to what we were talking about, NFL, thinking about discussing the legal matters of marijuana. Donald was saying, I mean, hey, I guess it doesn't matter, but at the same time, it does. And in this situation in the NFL, those guys are running full speed into each other all day. And now they need something to take the pain away. And I guess if weed does it, who am I to say, no, you can't do it? Of course, there's going to have to be a rule on how you do it, how many times you do it. And that's going to, who knows what's going to happen with if the NFL does even pass this law. But I just wanted to bring it up because I did see that in the news today. And I was like, interesting, as Donald would say.
Yeah, thinking about considering looking at research isn't really saying a whole lot.
Well, considering this, Donald, they never took the idea of reading about marijuana and what it does. They just said no flat out.
Right.
I give them credit for saying, okay, we'll discuss it with the players' union to see what the holler is all about. Because,
well, the NFL has been famous for not being willing to discuss certain things.
they're the no fun league,
i.e. concussions and things like that. And I don't think they want to continue to go down that road without being willing to consider, to look at research and have a conversation. But that's extremely non-committal in any situation, right? Like,
got it.
So that's where I'm at with that.
Got it. So my last question to you about Le'Veon is, does he deserve that bread, D? Based off his prior incidents, what he's done, because he's balled out.
Hey, he's going to get his market rate for what he has done.
Yep.
And what he has done has missed
Four to what is it? 6
in
to
the
8
last
games.
2 years.
Yep, 6 to 8 games.
Yeah, what's that? Almost 30% of your season. Yeah, I mean, so he'll probably get that amount of what he should get.
Fair enough.
Less. You know what I mean? He's $12 million. Like, he's more than an $18 million guy. But if you're not dependable, if you can't come to work on time and you can't show up at work and we can't depend on you being there, then we can't pay you like somebody of your talent level that can be depended upon. And that's just,
that's on him.
Hey, that's how the cookie crumbles.
Put it in perspective. He is around my age. So he's sitting in this room. What would you tell him, Donald? Straight up, like.
I mean, I think anybody in these situations has to understand, and I think it's tough for them to understand that you're extremely talented. You're a rare talent, but you have a job that a lot of people want, and every year there's a new crop. And if somebody comes in and, you have a short window to figure it out, right? And as quick as I used to say this when I was playing, is you could be out of it. And as fast as you're out of it, you could be in it. And as quick as you're in it, whether it's injury or a mistake, you can be right back out of it. And that's one thing that I was told by the professionals that raised me. And it's something that all these guys need to understand. You have, and I had it. You have I thought I was Superman, right? You have a air of invincibility and an arrogance that nothing can happen to you, and you can dunk from the free throw line, and you could do, Then you wake up one morning with chronic fatigue syndrome, and your whole world changes, right? You wake up, you pop a drug test. You fail, okay, you get your 4-game suspension, you try again, you're playing, you fail again, and then, hey, next thing you know, somebody else, Bledsoe got hurt in New England, right? And Brady took over, best quarterback of all time,
Ain't
right?
Looked back since.
Ain't looked back since. He was a backup, right? Same thing just happened in Dallas. Dak Prescott retired Tony Romo.
Once you go Dak, you never go back, baby.
Uh-oh.
That was one of my storylines. Check it out. It's a nice little article. I wrote it a year ago. It's pretty nice. But go ahead.
But that's Tony Romo, before, he got sacked in a preseason game.
My back.
Right. But, before that, he was considered a top 5 quarterback in the NFL.
Yep.
Right. And now he's done. like literally like that. And so guys need to realize their earning potential, realize that there are controllables and uncontrollables, and control the controllables, right? Like drug use, whatever. Like, man, you gotta, and sometimes like the drug program is a part of their potential earnings too. That has to be acknowledged. Sometimes these guys, it'll be a contract year, they start juicing, they get on, and it's like a calculated risk that they take, right, to get paid. So, I mean, just from a whole nother level, when you're on the other side of that deal, especially in football, you got to understand that, like, they might pop and miss games, but some of them might not be in the league if they weren't using, right, and hoping that they didn't get caught. You look at a situation like Barry Bonds, I mean, his career escalated into his 40s, right? And he got paid for that. And was it money that he would have gotten and he was already arguably one of the greatest baseball players who ever lived before he, recognizably started juicing, right? But, that's 10 years of substantial money that he made, and put his reputation at risk. But, some people, they look at it like, okay, reputation or paper. And they roll with the paper. Other people say, like my reputation, like I have enough paper where I'm not going to put my reputation at risk. You know what I'm saying? So, but when we talk about the drug use and we don't know what it is that they're doing, or we do know, whether it's marijuana, like for me, like I went to the dentist, I got a tooth pulled, and they offered me pain pills, and I wouldn't do it because I'm scared. And I'm not scared because of me. I just see people, like regular people, that just get hooked on this stuff, and I don't feel like I have no desire to be hooked on pain pills. But when you tell me a 12-year-old goes to the dentist and he starts taking, pain medication, and then when his prescription runs out, like the thing that you get off the street that equals that is heroin, like I'm scared of that. I'm not scared of marijuana. I'm not fearful of marijuana. Like I'm not, right? Like I see some people that are too cool on marijuana. I see some people that aren't very motivated due to marijuana. And I've seen people who have transitioned from marijuana into other things. But for the most part, like I don't have a fear of marijuana. So if I was a football player and I'm hurting bad and they're trying to give me Vicodin or whatever it is that they prescribe for me, right? I would be in that car with Le'Veon Bell. I'm just saying. Now I'm gonna tell based on, like I'm not saying like I don't smoke on the regular. Like that's not my deal. Like that's not something I do. But if I was in that position and I'm playing football and I need something, because I just got cracked by Cam Chancellor, right? And I'm going to the training room and they're prescribing Vicodin or Oxycontin or whatever it is that I'm terrified of, I'm not taking it. I'm gonna have to figure out, that's just who I am. It's natural, it's from the earth. God put this here for me and you. No, I'm just
Donald is not sponsoring marijuana by any means, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, just to clear it up, the suspension for Le'Veon Bell last year was because he missed a drug test. All right, so the fact that he didn't even show up.
That's similar to Ricky Williams, who retired when they called him the drug test again. I'll retire because if I take that test, I'll never play again.
I'm fired. He retired or you get fired. He retired. Simple as that.
I missed the drug. Oh, dang, man. I missed it.
But before we move along to talk about loyalty, got a shout out to the sponsor, Wattsbasketball.com. WATTS, basketball.com. Check it out. Change things up a little bit. And then again, we do have some pretty cool news for you guys at the end of the night. But again, at Watts Basketball, you learn a lot and you play a lot. At least for the young folks, go out and play, have fun. But if you're trying to train and get better, develop some skills that can last a lifetime, hit up D now. He's waiting.
Yeah. And if the NCAA evaluation period just ended. Now it's the contact period. Today is the first day that coaches can call prospective recruits. And if you don't get a phone call from a college that you're looking for in the next 48 hours,
hit up D.
Holla at your boy.
Wattsbasketball.com.
DWatts at wattsbasketball.com. Hey, if you're trying to get to college, send the email directly to me.
What's that email,
right?
D? Go ahead.
DWatts at wattsbasketball.com. A lot of people, I see a lot of people who aspire to be college athletes, even people who have the talent to be college athletes, that don't realize exactly what it takes, and even some that don't realize that they aren't being recruited. Like, I talked to people who's like, oh, yeah, they might have saw a coach in the hallway at the hotel, and they can't really speak to you, but they say hi, and they're like, yeah, Oregon State's recruiting me. Yeah, Kansas is recruiting me. Nah, fool, he said hi. That's it. Are you scheduling visits? Are they calling you? Is your phone ringing off the hook? This is that time of year. If you're a prospect, that's how it's supposed to be, And so, hey, if you're not quite there, let us help you get there. If you are there, the other part of it is making that transition from being a prospect to being an effective college basketball player. And what you need to do to be recruited and what you need to do to make it happen when you get on campus are often two different things. And a lot of kids don't figure that out until after their transfer, after they transfer schools. Transfers at colleges and universities at a record-breaking, level. I think there was over 800 transfers last year. So, we trying to help kids go and be ready when they get there, and then help kids that aren't quite getting the recruitment they want get there, get to the next level. So, like I said, you see this show, if you don't hear from a college coach in the next 48 hours, next couple of weeks, month goes by, you're not scheduling visits, when all those things aren't happening, I want you thinking about Watts Basketball and Game Changers for Life.
Dang, I'm gonna have to write that down. That was deep. Good work, D. I like that, man. But now we're gonna get into this loyalty. I can only imagine, because I don't know if you guys remember, but Donald opening up, he said he used to be an AAU coach. Well, guess whose AAU coach he was? He was mine. He was my coach.
That's why I stopped.
Oh, wow. All right. You know what? We want to thank y'all for listening. This has been another episode. No, I'm kidding. Wow. It's like that, huh?
He retired me.
I feel so much better now. Not even. But
no, that's my boy, man.
Oh, now I'm his boy. He done fired me a few times. He done said I made him quit coaching, and now I'm his boy. Okay.
I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of the work you're doing. I'm proud of the podcast you're doing. Proud of the writing you're doing. I'm proud of you graduating.
Go Cougs.
Yeah.
Forget UW.
One day you go move out your mama house.
Yes, coming soon. I'm working on that. I'm stacking up, guys. I got to stack up some bread. I want to buy property. I can't be renting.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
It's hard out here.
I'm trying to move my mama in my house right now, so ain't nothing wrong with it.
Hey.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
But basically, with loyalty, like I said, Donald used to coach me. I could only imagine if one day my parents and I came up to a conclusion, hey, D, I want to go join another AAU program. Now, let's say I was with Donald for a lifetime, forever, basically. So let's say after my fourth year, I'm just like, I want to go try another AAU team, Friends of Hoop or something, someone that we compete against to be better, to go out there and compete. And I'm just like, yo, D, I want to transfer or just join this other AAU team. I'm pretty sure the conversation wouldn't be too PG rated for this station. But the idea I'm getting at is, where's all the loyalty? What's going on? You had a funny point when we were discussing, you were calling the NBA, I'll let you say it. The NBA, what, Donald, what'd you say it was?
I said this last couple years, it's become the NBAAU.
Did you hear that last part?
Right.
AAU.
The NBAAU. And why I say that is because when I was coaching you guys, it wasn't very uncommon for, to be coaching a group of players and one player develop at a faster rate than another player. And then you're responsible for the development of that player. And then you go play a team and that team beats you or whatever, and then that team recruits your guy to go play in the next tournament, to go play for him, we'll give you free shoes or whatever. And then that guy leaves there and goes and doesn't continue to develop. Right? And so that was common in the youth basketball circuit. I think it's been common,
How many times did I ask you about A.J. Fuller? Curious.
Oh, a lot. The same teams that cut him. You know what I mean? The same teams that cut him, now they see him after he put a couple years of work in. It's like, hey, come back, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, this is the system that, you know, a lot of these NBA players have grown up in, and the way that they approach it is now spilling over into the NBA, right? Like, I want to go play with my friend. Like, I want to go play with my buddies. I want to go play with, you know, this person. And, you know, they play for the USA team. They build relationships or whatever. You're like, oh, man, it would be really cool to hoop with you, right? And it's like, yeah, that's one thing, you know, if you're Watts Rain in the Seattle Rotary or whatever, and you're like, oh, yeah, my boys are playing over there. I'm like, that's cool. That's whatever. Like, but these are dudes that are under contract. They're giving up millions of dollars, supermax deals, because they want to go play with their homeboys, with friends, or because they want to win without, you know, really, and kind of in a way short circuit the process. Or in Kyrie's, you know, where we're headed here.
We're all about.
All right. In Kyrie's situation, I'm not sure, because it's not about winning, because you can win where you're at. Then he says they say that he says he wants his own team or whatever, but he's not saying the Phoenix Suns.
He said the Spurs.
He said that's not your own team.
That's Pop.
Yeah, and Kawhi Leonard is the best two-way player in the game.
Don't come in there messing his stuff up.
And the NBA, and you're not going to mess his stuff up because he doesn't need the ball. But so what's really going on? What are you really saying? Jimmy Butler is in Minnesota, which is one of your places that you said you would go to. New York would be cool as far as his own team. He could bring Kitsap Porzingis or whatever along, right? But all those other situations, it's not your own team. So are you just saying you don't fool with the king?
So, yeah, now that we own it. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I remember our first breakdown of numbers versus impact. Those two together, they put up numbers. The impact, that's where kind of like it goes up and down, because they kind of need the ball in their hand. Well, they need the ball in their hand all the time. And that takes away from other guys, as in Kyle Korver, Kevin Love. You name it, a lot of guys aren't getting touches. And Kyrie says he wants his own team. Well, in any of those teams that he goes to, he's going to need the what in his hand? The ball.
Right. So at the end of the day, I mean, the problem with these two, right, like in Kyrie, you have a point guard that is a reluctant passer. He doesn't really want to just pass.
I saw the man go 4-on-1 and score a layup, and I said, "Oh my God, did he?"
Like he's a reluctant passer, right? So you have a point guard who's a reluctant passer. Then you have LeBron James, who is a power forward and physically, right, that wants to be a point guard. Now Kyrie doesn't want to be the two; he wants to be the one, but he doesn't want to facilitate. And LeBron doesn't want to go play in the post. He doesn't want to play in the mid-post. He wants to facilitate.
He wants the ball.
Right. So you got your big guy that wants the ball and wants to be a facilitator. You got your little guy that wants to just go get buckets. Like he wants it. He's Uncle Drew. He's not tripping. Like, I mean, he literally plays like he's at the playground. He does, like, oh man, like he does incredible stuff with the ball, whatever. But at the end of the day, when you're talking about winning championships, when you're talking about playing with great harmony and rhythm with each other, when you're talking about having fun, like it doesn't really add up that way.
And it's funny you say how he plays the game. After practice, you know what he works on? Just one-on-one game, just getting buckets. That's he'll go in there, just dribbling, killer crossovers, all these moves, pulling up. Just like, dang, just the ball a few times. Because I'll be watching games and literally just watching him just head down, not looking for nobody. Cats be like, yo, pass it. Oh, you finished? Cool.
Right.
And I'm just like, that's not a point guard. And someone brought up the question today, who would you rather have, Kyrie or Steph? And immediately I said Steph. Because you know what? He might not be able to go one-on-one the whole game, but you know what he can do? He can run an offense.
The most efficient offense in NBA history.
And he's going to do that.
And people want to what?
Bash him. And
they want to know. his teammates want to play with him.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah. Okay.
They want to come play.
There we go with the people thing. Oops, my bad. I did it again. You see?
His teammates want to play with him. People want to play with him. They like playing with him.
It's tough to play with Kyrie.
It makes the game easy for him.
Really tough. The guy's just.
And so, at the end of the day, if you're a point guard, that should be the number one factor.
So how about a trade straight up, for example?
You're about to say something crazy.
No, I'm not. Listen here, man. And first of all, Kyrie Irving is under contract. So to be honest, I don't know if they really are going to trade this man. They might have to figure it out.
Go ahead, say you're crazy. Say you're crazy.
How you feel about Dame Lillard and Kyrie straight up?
For who? I mean, how do I feel about it for Portland? How do I feel about it for Cleveland?
For Cleveland. For both teams. You just swap them.
I think Dame would be a better fit to play with LeBron because he's more he can do things more efficiently.
Okay.
Right? He's more of a willing
passer.
Point guard. Like he's more of a willing basketball player. I think that it's not even really his. I think he scores. He's adapted to being more of a scorer, like more of a killer on offense than is his natural instinct.
But wouldn't you say he has to be with Portland?
That's what I said. He's adapted to being more than what is his natural instinct because that's the role that he has, right? Like I generally feel that way. And I feel like if he were in a situation, I think he's very comfortable. I don't think he's one of these guys that's looking to run somewhere, right? Like he wants to figure it out. He's in a tough situation because they're not going to be winning the West. They're not going to be coming out of the West in a long time
soon.
But I think he appears to be a guy who's happy grinding and would not, of course he wants to win a championship, but wouldn't feel like he had an incomplete career if he didn't do that, so he needed to go run and do it somewhere. And I think that's the other thing with Kyrie. Kyrie's won his championship, and he's like, yeah, I won. Like, okay, I'm a champion. Like, now, I'm seeing what Russell Westbrook's doing by himself. Now I want to go do what I want, right? But you're not going to do that in San Antonio. So I think he's a little bit conflicted because the only place where he goes that he named and just does what he wants is New York.
But
right.
You don't think so in Phoenix? Just Eric Bledsoe?
He didn't name Phoenix, did he?
Yeah, he did. He said Phoenix.
Oh, he does want his own team. No, I didn't know Phoenix was on his list.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Phoenix,
Minnesota, New York,
Spurs. I think that's it. So, yeah, I was like, well.
And then, I don't know, how much this,
Actually, Devin Booker would be there, but. I'm saying the Cavs would have to trade Eric Bledsoe to get him because Eric Bledsoe's not going to be there. They're giving him up. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Devin Booker is not going to slow Kyrie down at all.
No. I'm saying that would be the little two. Yeah, that would be the little thing.
Yeah. I think that I lost my thoughts.
All right, D.
That's what happened.
Basically, we were discussing. He said he want to go to Phoenix as well. You're saying the only team that he could possibly work with is New York. And
I said the only team he gets to do what he wants
is in New York. Yeah. But it's also possible.
So he has a little conflict. He's not really what is he really saying? He's not really saying what he really is saying.
I honestly couldn't tell you.
Yeah, he's not really.
I don't want to play with LeBron.
Right. Okay. So how much of that is like that? I really don't want to be around this dictatorship no more.
I remember the article I sent you.
They said the general manager, LeBron didn't fire the general manager. That was the word. But then they also said the general manager had a trade set up that was going to trade Kyrie. Mm-hmm. And LeBron said he didn't want that. He wanted Kevin Love gone. Well, now the general manager's gone.
What do you do?
Right? You didn't fire him. We talked about this on the show. Like, you didn't necessarily, I want him out of here, but you're like, I don't like what he's doing, and I got one more year under contract, so you decide what you want to do. LeBron said he's in support of the general manager. Well, now, LeBron's guy that he didn't want gone wants to be gone. And how much of that is D. Wade and LeBron are good friends, are great friends. D. Wade and LeBron didn't play well together. And they were really often kind of at each other, until D. Wade said, you know what? I want to, here's our best option for us to win is for me to allow him to be the alpha male or to coach, like him and to take a step back. So I'm willing to do that. But D-Wade was in a phase in his career where he was on the downslope and championships were his priority. And LeBron was his best option to win championships. So he made the sacrifice. Kyrie's not in a position right now where he wants to make the sacrifice.
Nope.
And I think when you look at a guy like Kyrie and you see what Russell Westbrook did, and you see how when Kyrie gets to the All-Star games, like it's really, and when you get to the All-Star game, it's not the best player that wins the MVP. It's the guy who it's most important to.
Getting them buckets.
To win the MVP. And anybody can get buckets because nobody's playing defense. So the guy who has the ball in his hands, that this is really important to, is going to be the guy that gets the MVP. You look at the All-Star game last year. Certain guys, they're resting. Like they're in the season that they care about, and this is a weekend and they want to have some fun, and they're going to play this game and chill out. Then you see a couple other guys out
also
there
going at it.
like, yo,
give me the ball.
Yeah, this is my joint right here. I'm winning the MVP, right? Like it's really important to that person to win the All-Star MVP. And Kyrie, has been that guy. Like he's been in the All-Star game. Like, oh, I'm cooking cats. Oh no, I'm not passing it. I'm going to go for 50. I got the All-Star game scoring record. Like, come on, man. You think Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain weren't going at each other?
He was competing.
Yeah, you guys are playing games out here, man.
This is an exhibition.
Yeah, like playing games. So
go ahead and shoot it.
That's where I'm at with that, man. And I mean, there's a larger conversation, a larger societal conversation. Like I said, we talked about it's kind of always been existing in youth basketball. It's understandable. You got friendships. You got, whatever at that level. Now at the college level, you got to have over 800 transfers. I heard the NCAA was talking about not doing away with the sit-out rule so that you could just do it, because it's uncontrollable. Dang, right now.
That's how bad it is.
There's 300 and something Division I schools and 800 transfers. Like that's
crazy.
That's crazy. It's crazy, and it's astronomical records. And as a society as a whole, whether it's you got jobs, people aren't working manufacturing jobs anymore where you work for 30 years. People are trying to go places where you get some stock options, a nice little paycheck, and you can retire and go to the next startup company and just do it again and do it. So it's really rampant in society. It's like, where can I go, get my maximum value out, and then get to the next spot and get and that freedom exists throughout society at this point, especially different now in the NBA. With the rules and whatever, and they've tried to put things in place financially to make it beneficial for you to stay where you're at, but that's not working too well.
No, it really isn't.
And the West is going to be
it's going to be competitive. It's going to be fun. We're not even.
And then you brought it up, but they're talking about not doing and they're going to have to.
What's up? What is it?
We're not doing the conferences.
Oh yeah, well.
Everybody's gonna be
shot my plan down. We talked about that. I'll tag the link in our new podcast tonight. But yeah, I wanted basically.
They're gonna have to do it.
Basically, Donald's talking about a new playoff format.
Or they're gonna have to put the East in the G League.
He being funny. So basically, there's no more divisions. It's just the top 16 teams make the playoffs, and it would be crazy. But the NBA, they're at this point. I get where Adam Silver's coming from because for one. It's not a dynasty yet. The Golden State Warriors have won one championship with this team, including KD. One. If they do it again next year, that's 2. If they do it again, that's 3. If they do it 4 times, I might say it's a dynasty. What do you think, D? Would that be considered a dynasty, or should we hold that until next week?
Next week.
So next week we're going to get into dynasty talk. I think so. Uh-oh. Dynasty talk next week for sure. But it's that time. We're about to get ready to close it down. We had a great show, professionalism. So I hope you guys learned something about professionalism and loyalty. All right? Say it with me, guys. Professionalism and loyalty. Donald, that means you. Wait, this man over
here. You're running
it
like Bill Nye the Science Guy or something now. Right. You teaching them?
Hey, man, this is the real spill, man. You learn some things on here. All right? But the big announcement is, if you go to wattsbasketball.com, I need you to go there. wattsbasketball.com. Go ahead and type it in. wattsbasketball.com. Cool. Click enter. You're going to go on this page. You see how it's all lovely set up. Put some work in there. It's real nice, right? Okay. You see Y Watts. You see programs. You see partner.
Yo.
News and skills. Click on news.
We're working on the website. You don't take them all the way
Hey,
through the
man.
website,
Hey,
man. Here's the deal. We gotta.
He won't let me do it.
No,
He
man.
won't-
You
he
take
won't
it
let
too
me do
long.
it.
You take it too
Wow.
long. You take it too long. Man, the casting is going to be over by the time you get done.
Oh, my goodness.
We a great opportunity for the young people. For young people in this community. We have the opportunity. We're helping cast a national Nike commercial. We're one of Nike's elite athletes.
How exciting did he make it?
And when you when you think about Nike's elite athletes, you got to think about LeBron, Kyrie, KD. Like, I don't know who or what it's going to be. I know that they're putting a substantial budget into the commercial, and they're looking for basketball players, African American males,
8 years old.
that look like they're 8 years old,
11
year old, and then a high school / college looking
17 to 21.
Yeah.
Do I still fit that mold?
Nah, man.
All right.
Especially now with the stuff on your face.
Bro, he gets mad because he can't grow one. Don't let him disrespect you
No,
like that.
but hit us up. Get to the website. Follow us, on our social sites. We'll have updates as it goes. But I do want to, in all seriousness, this is an excellent opportunity that came across our desk. We get a lot of opportunities. This is a unique opportunity. Me personally, I had the opportunity to be a part of a commercial like this, not for Nike, but for Chevrolet. I was in the commercial for about second and a half, 2 seconds. I ended up making about $50,000 to $60,000 off the commercial. So it's not, it's a substantial opportunity.
Damn, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, a substantial opportunity to be when you have the opportunity to be a part of a national commercial. You work for a day or two, and you get paid for a year or two. And so for the right kid, the right family, it can really make a difference in the life. And then at the end of the day, it would be pretty cool to look up and be watching, the ball game and see yourself and your friends, to see you playing with one of the real superstars of the game of basketball. So it's a fun deal, but it's a serious deal. I'm honored that we got the opportunity to be a part of the cast. And if you got a young hooper that's got some handles, got a love and a passion for the game, and is within that age range, don't holler at me on this one. Right? Fill out the form, and my people will get back to you.
No pun intended. Round of applause.
Wattsbasketball.com.
I'm the only one clapping?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. See how he took away the joy? I had it all planned out. I was going to go show you how to do it. But basically, yes, go on Watts Basketball. Hit that news link.
The link will be in the show notes.
I'll do that too. And then fill it out, man. 8 to 11, 17 to 21. You got to have some handles.
And it's not the specific age. You have to look like you're in that age range.
I can pass. I'll shave. It's not a
Let's
problem.
go. Let's get it. You can pass for the 8-year-old.
All right, y'all. We
we
definitely about to get up out of here. This has been another episode of The Real Spill. We want to thank you guys for listening. We appreciate the love and support.
I don't know if you got enough handles for that position, though.
Boy, my in and out crossover is icky. Okay? You heard it here first. The Real Spill Pod. We'll catch you guys next Tuesday. Same time, same thing as usual. Hit us up. Follow me. My new Twitter handle, CKid206. Old Man Watts. What's your Twitter handle, man?
It's on the screen.
You got to like that. Hey, it's on the screen. We'll catch y'all next week.
Hey, for y'all listening on the pod, it's D Watts. It's Donald Watts 24 on Twitter, and it's Wattsbball on Twitter, Instagram, all of that stuff. Yeah, it's all love.
Lars, you might have to put that on the screen for him. I'm just throwing that out there. All right, y'all, we're out.